Hello Jeepsters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. I wasn't exactly expecting to do this video today, but they've turned up. So as you'd see by the title, I don't know why I talk like this because I always put it in the title, so you already know what they are. I've got four 40mm Perry Miniatures metal Napoleonic Peninsular War, 2 British, 2 French. I'll even it up. I will be getting some Spanish at some stage. I'm not particularly doing them for me. I really can't be holding on to any more. I've got AB Prussians all over the place at the moment. But I've wanted to, ever since Perry started bringing out these 40mm figures, I've always fancied, you know, painting a couple just to see what they're like. Now I've opened the boxes downstairs, I was having my lunch at the time, without the reading bins on. No, what was I thinking? It was like, well, they feel really good. Yeah, so I'll be looking at them the same time as you will, really, because I'll be able to have these 3 inches of armoured glass that I've got stuck to my face, so I can usually see a lot better with them. But yeah, I really fancied having a go. They were £5 each, and I think it was minimum postage, it was £3.50. I am painting them to sell, should you be interested. They'll be painted to, I don't have like collector standard, wargame standard 3, you know. Oh, that rubbish. I just paint as good as I can paint them, so they'll be painted for either sticking in a cabinet or gaming and skirmish gaming, because if you, a lot of the guys who know do the wargaming, these 40mm are often used for skirmish gaming, as in at £5 a piece. They're you know your standard. It's Perry's would be about £8 odd for about 6, would they be? I know Empress are about £8 for 4, so you know it's not cheap. But they've got that. Through the blurry eyes, they just really look really nice to me. So I'm hoping once I can get a more accurate picture, I can actually see. So, oh yeah, and my second Asterix books came through as well, £2. I'm saying it like that because I had my first ever Duff one from World of Books, which was Next Library copy, which came a couple of days ago. I haven't bought an Asterix annual in probably about 18 months. The missus was going, I love Asterix. I can afford £2 a piece. So anyway, I digress. This isn't about Asterix annuals, is it? So let's go down to the bench and take a look, because I was really chuffed with the blurred vision that I could see. They felt good. So let's go and have a look. Right guys, they always do them in like these jewellery boxes with a bit of that fluff packing, which, you know, I mean, it does keep them slightly safer, I suppose. I'm not a huge fan, it tends to get stuck everywhere, especially some of the Perry castings tends to have those, they're brilliant sculpts, but they're not always the best casting. And when I say casting, I don't mean legs missing or anything like that. It's just a lot of us that do them have the complaint there's a lot more worms and on other figures, you know, like casting worms. But we'll see about that when we have a look at these guys. I've had to write on what they are. We'll do them box by box, shall we? So we'll start off with the first one here, in a particular order, which is, I've put British Rifleman. This one's this way stuck this way for some reason. So as you can see, you get this white fluff, which is a pain in the buttocks, as we can see now. Right, but the boxes are very good for storing things in. Forgive any gunginess on the fingers, I wasn't anticipating doing this like the other day's video. And they are white metal, so they're going to shine a bit. So again, these are 40mm. Let's just get this British one that I'm working on at the moment. This is for that, ends up as a photographic thing, but so just to give you an idea, I know it's not exactly the same as that's on a base, but that's a 28mm and 40mm. So 40th rifles, 95th rifles with a Baker rifle, or the 60th. Royal Americans. This is what you get a lot of with Perry castings quite often, is these. I've never been a big fan of them. I mean, these little bits of worms aren't too bad, but you get, this is what you get a lot of. See this guy here? That's what we call a worm. Again, I'm talking to people that if they don't know, you know what I mean. I'm just wondering with that whether I keep it rather than have that as a big solid chunk there. I might well see if I can chain drill that out, as we're talking at such large scale. See, there's another worm there. They're a pain sometimes because you think you've got them all, you prime it and you go, oh bloody hell. But we'll work around it. You have to, because the castings are the actual quality of the sculpts. We all know what the two Perry brothers do. I've never been a fanboy of any company or sculpt. You know, if I think there's things wrong with them, I say it. But the actual sculpt wise, these guys are really top notch. You see the face there. So he'll be in rifle green jacket and either green or grey trousers probably. You could put them in the usual Iberian brown cloth that some of the guys used to have trousers made up of if their own had fallen apart. Got the horn for the powder. These guys, if you don't know, again, if you're not into your Napoleonics, this is where the light infantry concept was already out there, you know, going back to probably before, you know, before the American Revolutionary War. But this, the 95th, I believe, was it the 60th as well? I think these had about 3 battalions. They were specifically taught to use a Baker rifle, this short rifle. It took longer to load, but it was very, very accurate. Funny that it took the army years to adopt. It wasn't until, was it the 1850s, we started getting the rifled musket. Sorry, trying to stifle a sneeze. A bit of flash in there, that's nothing. But yeah, very nice. As I say, we just got a bit of, but I'm hoping the scale of the figure will catch all these worms. Might be a bit there. But yeah, very. I'm liking this. It says on the. I've gone on the website just because I didn't know that. I couldn't remember the codes. I knew roughly what I bought, but I've wrote them all down just for the video, really, so we know what they are. So that's 95th Rifles, or 60th if you want to do that. So that's PE73. PE9, which is French voltigeur in habit and covered shako. Habit is like the is it the jacket or the vest? I can't remember now. Like, this guy is loading sabre briquette, as they call it, and that will go on separately. So let's just have a look at the figure first. Obligatory gourd, used for a drinking bottle. Here we go. See that larger worm there with its tail there. Again, brilliant face. Mould line going down the front there. I don't know if it will be evident on the face. We'll check that under the. I've got those like magnifying glasses I wear sometimes just to look extra detailed. We've got the calves compared to the British with that, which is just boards and like oil cloth canvas type stuff. Obviously we've got cow skin backpack. We've got the longer tails for this time of the Napoleonic Wars on the jacket. Later on they were shorter, you know, up here. Again, I'm not trying to teach people to suck heads, it's just that I've got such a wide varied, you know, guys that sub to me. Some are in it for the models, some, you know what I mean, so they're not always going to know what a lot of you other guys know. Rolled up. I always like it when I see the rolled up trousers again. It's just all, you can really go to town as a painter doing bits and pieces. Horns are, bugles are, or horns are moulded on. The bonnet de police under there, which is like his cap for doing general duties. Yeah, I'm liking that. There were several poses. They do mounted poses are about £10, I think, or are £10, and figures like this are a £5. They also had a border reaver range as well. So is that the late early 1600s, late 1580s, whatever, on the Scottish English border. If you want to go and look at border reavers, and this guy will be putting home a charge, I believe. Just trying to. There's his hand. Yeah, I can't do it because obviously I've got to take things off. But yeah, he's roughly putting a charge home. Giving a bit of another. You've just got to be really careful with it. As I say, the sculpts are fantastic. The castings, sometimes you got cracks, not cracks in them that they're going to fall apart or anything. I just mean the cracks in the metal. And I sometimes, if I'm doing Perry figures, I'll sometimes just gently fill them, just to get a more smoother look. Because sometimes some of the dings and the cracks can show up through your paint. But as I say, the sculpting is really, really naturalistic and nice. I really like it. So there we go. That's our French voltigeur. This one is the another French voltigeur, which they mainly would be because they are skirmishing. You know, often, as I say, because of the price of these figures, they're often put forward more for skirmishing games, which means, again, to you guys that don't war game, it's a small amount of figures on a tabletop, so you can have I mean, the problem with I often think with 40mm is just the terrain. You know, make large trees and large buildings and that type of stuff, but we've got lots of little worms on this guy, you know, around the tails of the jackets there. And so they're just annoying only because, a bit on the gourd, you'll miss them sometimes, and even after the priming I miss them sometimes, and it's only as the brushes, I'm concentrating on one area, I think, is that supposed to be there, anything else? It's a bloody worm. Well, of course, once you've got the primer on and you're already painting, it means I've got to cut the damn thing off, clean an area back to bare metal, and then have to start again, and it's blooming and really annoying. But yeah, again, 3 heads for this one, 4 heads even, giving you different choices. Uncovered shako, and appears to be 3 covered ones. And they've got the collars on them. That one may have a bandage on by the look of it. Second one in on the left, from the left. Again, there's no point even trying to marry that up because it's not going to. But yeah, and he's carrying the musket, the trail. Now, French voltigeurs and the line infantry, they carried, I think were they slightly shorter muskets, I believe, but they weren't rifled compared to our riflemen. But they all fought in loose formation, and they go ahead of the main columns. But again, it was a pose. I like the different poses. As I say, just to even have, you don't have to game these pieces. They're just nice to have in your cabinet. Don't take a lot of room up. I'm just wondering. I mean, they're going to be fairly top heavy on obviously putty around the bases as I would do. But I'm just wondering if I can somehow make a base up that sits within a base, if that makes sense, so somebody can have it on a small type plinth, and you know, just take it off if they were going to game it. I don't know. I'll try and work that out as I go. Right, where's my box? There we go. So that's just, I'll just put him as Voltigeur. Should have said four-headed Voltigeur, really. And our last one is another Brit, which I really like this one. This is a British Light Infantry Sergeant, but not 95th Rifles. So he's in a red coat. And he's carrying a standard, a bit like if you think about that French Voltigeur there, he's carrying a standard musket, but taught to fight in light infantry, loose order formations. Again, there's a nice pin there. You may have to adjust the pin to get it in. Obviously I've got this plug here, so I can't really show you it up tight. So there might be, on any bits where they have a, you know, a loose connection that's got to be put on, it may just need a bit of filling. I don't know. We'll see. But I really like that pose again. Obviously, telling people to move. He's got his sash on, waist sash there. Canteen. These stripes at Perry's tend to, you know, you don't have to worry about putting stripe, well, as in trying to get into getting your lines and everything. The Perry's tend to do that for you. Again, we've got a bit of a, you probably noticed that one, but a worm there. You often run your fingers over them just checking. That's one of the ways to find them as well. Bayonet. We've got a mould line there. Seems proud. Sometimes you get them where they sit in slightly and they're a bit harder to, you know, again you have to put a bit of filler over them. Yeah, really nice. Great facial details, sideburns. Again, these are the stovepipe shakos for the Brits, not the Belgique ones, that, you know, or Belgique ones with the false front, as I call it, up the top, you know, and the cords that you see at Waterloo. These are the ones that were used in the Peninsula and obviously around the world later on in the 1812 war. Right, guys, there you go. I just thought I'd show that off. I know I already put a video up yesterday, but I must admit I wasn't expecting these for probably till early next week. So that's only taken about four days to get to me, something like that. I think that's good. They came in a jiffy bag, but I mean, these are hard little boxes, you know what I mean? They're not going to get knocked about. But yeah, really looking forward to do that. I'll be just doing one at a time because they'll all be different uniforms, so it's not like you've got a production line of, say, these AB Prussians where they're roughly all the same. So I'll just do one at a time and stick a video up. And I'll probably wait till I've painted them all to actually put them up for sale, in case somebody wants to buy them all in one go. Yeah, I'll probably, rather than do, let's get this guy back here, this front rank figure. Hey, I got the word right to think about it. Rather than do these highlighted, I was going to see all the different highlights I've put on there, and then I've gone over them with, I've toned them down with a blue wash to give them that bluish grey look. But anyway, not about that, is it? But what I mean is, rather than covering all the folds with a brighter highlights and shadows, I'll probably blend these, actually blend these ones, because to me, yes, you can game them, but they're at that scale where they're going into display figure territory as well. So I might try and just push the boat out on these a bit more. Right, I'm starting to wonder, aren't I? So that's nothing new there, is it? So thank you very much for your kind words and support on the last few videos. Always appreciated. As I say, you know, I just I enjoy putting the videos up. It keeps me in contact with the world. That one I've just shown you, that was supposed to be, as I've said before, I was going to do a paint on camera, but I'd made such a stuff up getting that sand on the trousers. I had no appeal to try and I mean, I'm doing it, but I'll be getting some more paint on that probably over the next few days. But what I'm doing is just taking photographs, clutching my blooming computer with photographs of it at the moment, and putting the paint next to it. I don't know how to do voiceovers, unfortunately. I've tried. It just doesn't seem to show up on my computer. How I can see the video and do a voiceover at the same time. It keeps saying like, oh, you know, it'll do a microphone and stuff, but you can't see the video to actually what you're watching. So it'll probably just have to be, unfortunately, photographs and a bit of tinkly music, which is probably better for you guys, really. So look after yourselves. Oh, well, let's not go through what's coming up. Could be anything, couldn't it? But there'll be probably more Napoleonic goodness. There will be definitely the 40mm Flames of War Hornice will come up on a video. Probably not till Monday or Tuesday. There'll be another, yeah, there will be more Napoleonic goodness, because I'm just about to varnish the client's commission one last time. I'll give him 2 coats and off the airbrush, and he'll be picking them up, I presume, sometime over the weekend, because he lives local. So yeah, I want to get a video up on those before he picks them up. So anyway, look after yourselves. Hope you enjoy your painting, your model making, your wargaming, whatever you decide to be doing. And we'll catch each other soon on another video.